Let's imagine 4 squares. Choo, choo, like this. Welcome to Working on Clouds, where we look at your work life and we're trying to make it smooth and cushy like you are walking on clouds. And today we have a cloudy day and I'm not happy about it. This is really silly, right? Because I named a channel Working on Clouds, so we're now turning clouds and make them into something nice. So let's do it. Today we're going to talk about quitting a bad habit. So what's a bad habit you have to quit? Do you have one?
Yes, I'm smoking.
Smoking. Who else is smokers? Anybody who's watching? Smoking is, I think we could say it's a bad habit. But generally speaking, I would always start with asking yourself, is it really a bad habit? Or is it maybe something that we can embrace and maybe just change slightly? So lots of people come and they say, ooh, I should quit eating chocolate. I think that's just insane. Who would want to quit eating chocolate? Or then they go like, okay, you can only eat dark chocolate from now on. I don't know about you, but I don't like eating dark chocolate. I like eating real chocolate. But what I'm trying to say is we could, of course, adapt it. So the first question is, are you too harsh on yourself? Is it really a bad habit, or can we just maybe adapt whatever you do? So I have a really bad habit, and if it's something that I want to do and then it doesn't go along as planned, I think it's called perfectionism, isn't it? Then I get really grumpy. I get very grumpy with myself, and then it's really hard to get out of that. So that's my bad habit. I need to quit. And could I adapt it? I don't know how you can be half grumpy. If anybody knows how to be half grumpy, please tell me, because I think I'm always then straight grumpy. But not at others, actually more at me. So I'm like, with me, I'm grumpy. So we first have looked into, is it really a bad habit or do we adapt it? Number 2, there we have the question, should we quit the bad habit or should we create a better alternative? So it's actually quite interesting. So we have avoidance and approach goals. So avoidance is you avoid something. So I'm going to quit eating chocolate. Then you have an approach goal, which would be when I feel like snacking, I'm going to eat more fruit. Fruit, I think, is probably better than chocolate on nutritional terms. So you would create an approach goal here versus an avoidance goal. So for most people, what happens, if you think about an avoidance goal and you say to yourself, I'm going to quit eating chocolate, guess what will happen if you walk into the supermarket? That's right, you will see chocolate everywhere. Guess what will happen if you walk to work and chat with a colleague? That's right, you will see chocolate laying on desks and in vending machines, and all you see is chocolate. It's kind of like saying, don't think about the pink elephant. You think about a pink elephant. So this means people, and we know this from the research side, so there has been a few studies on this topic, and apparently those who have created avoidance goals compared to those who created approach goals, the ones in the group with the avoidance goals were more likely to procrastinate. I've done another video on procrastination, so if you want, go and check that out. And also the ones who created avoidance goals versus the group who did approach goals, here they, they had worse outcomes in the sense of that when it was about studying, they had worse grades, or when it was about running distances, they didn't run as long as the approach goals group. So generally speaking, for most people, for most situations, it makes sense if you think about quitting your bad habit to turn it into an approach goal. So that's my tip number 2 for you. Having said this, and we talked about quitting smoking, right? Apparently with quitting smoking, I've not been a smoker, so I can't say too much about that, but apparently with quitting smoking it's a bit different, because there's some goals where it's about health and it's about kind of like really serious, if you smoke chain and so on. Do you smoke chain? No. Is this, or is this, maybe it's just again a German impression, sorry, expression. So if do you smoke like every half an hour?
No.
Oh, no. Okay, so anyways. Yeah. Oh, come on, pompier. Okay, people, we just learned something new. If you want to know what, I don't even know what it is in English. A chain smoker, we assume. Okay, in German it's a Kettenraucher. Fumer comme un pompier. Fumer comme un pompier. So, oh gosh, now I totally lost where I was. But hold on, I'm going to come back. Oh yes, so where it was for these serious health, death, life, death situations. Apparently there, you're so scared that an avoidance goal might help for some people. So again, most people, most situations try to create an approach goal, but for some it could be also that this avoidance goal makes you so scared that you do it. And that's why I think avoidance goals are so hard, because on a general basis, if you're stressed about it, then it's harder to, of course, get into a better habit. So this was tip number 2. So what have we covered? Number 1, is it really a bad habit? Number 2, should we create maybe an alternative in form of an approach goal? Number 3, this is also interesting. What I always try to ask myself is this the right time to quit the bad habit? So I'm going to draw it to you. Maybe I should draw it in real time. Do I have a paper? No, I don't. Okay, let's imagine. We'll be creative right now. Okay, in 1, you put the benefits of quitting the bad habit. Then you put the price of quitting the bad habit. And then you put the opposite. So the positives of not quitting the bad habit and the price of not quitting the bad habit. I think we should, maybe we can draw it in the, we're going to draw it for you. We're going to put it somewhere, so because favorite thing. But you basically go through the plus and the negatives of either quitting or not quitting. And I find this very interesting. If you really go through the list, sometimes you arrive at very interesting insights. And often it's related for me to timing. So, because, it's obvious, if I don't quit eating chocolate, I might, I don't know, I might eat too much sugar and I have to go to the dentist. But there are always benefits of doing, what you're doing. And we often forget about it. So in other words, the so-called bad habit is also serving you something. So maybe eating chocolate relaxes you. Maybe eating chocolate makes you engage with a friend. Maybe eating chocolate makes you feel happy. So there are lots of things associated with what we do. And even with smoking, so we were just talking about smoking. I should not promote smoking here so much, but if you go and smoke, you're going to have a pause, you have a break, you have maybe a chat with a friend. So there's lots of positive things associated with it. So if you want to quit that, you have to really think about, well, what else can I do, and am I willing to pay the price for it? And if you arrive at the conclusion that right now it's not the right time to do it because maybe your life is stressed as it is, then it's also okay, because sometimes we just have to say, all right, I don't have to beat myself up for it, that I'm not quitting it right now, but I will find time when I can do it, and then it will work. This is not procrastination, this is being smart, okay? There's a difference. All right, so that's that. Is it the right time? And then the last tip, number 4. So we tried this before, right? You do 4 like this. You can't do 4. Can anybody do 4 like that? No, I can't. Can anybody do it? No. 8. 4. So number 4 is, what is number 4? Oh yes, number 4 is, okay, I have to look. I forgot what number 4 is. Are you, or do you? I have it. So, yes. So, recently, actually yesterday, I tried to buy a car. And I know for most of you probably gonna sit there and go like, this is so exciting, buying a car. Why is this a negative thing? But I don't know, I think different things stress different people, right? So I can do other things, but buying a car, I found very stressful. Anyways, so when I looked at it as a whole, I was procrastinating about it, because I was thinking, oh gosh, it's so big, I have to get the insurance, and I have to look, and I have to do this and that. But when I started to break it down into smaller steps, it was actually doable. And I think that's often also with quitting a bad habit. So we see this big, giant thing that we have to do. So if you try to break it down into more smaller chunks, so almost like thinking about like a scale, you know, from 1 to 10, and 10 would be like you arrive at your goal. And maybe, you know, you already did some things. So think about where are you on that scale and what would be like just one step upwards. Once you do that, it's more likely that you get started. And the good news is I bought the car. I'm not telling you which one, but I bought a car, and believe it or not, it's actually the first kind of car I have. Haha, because I always lived in places where I didn't need a car, and now I need a car. And I think I bought it. We see. I will keep you updated. So this is it. So if you want to quit a bad habit, I hope these are some things that made you think what you can do. And I wish you good luck. See you next time. Thank you.